One past night, lying on her bed, she, the one who always hides behind a shield of strength, was crying, not seeking pity, but in a final attempt to ease the pain that weighed heavily on her chest. Night. When it falls, the soul returns to its natural state. Masks drop, and the voice that had been hidden throughout the day rises. In a moment of weakness, she picked up her phone and wrote to her friend, "I need to talk to you. I need you." The response was not comforting, nor even a gracious silence, but cold mockery and hurtful indifference. She closed the phone, caught between shock and the remnants of a failed hope, asking herself, "Am I not always the one who listens? Am I not the one who comforts and supports? Then why, when I need to speak, is my pain met with ridicule or with a pretense of listening without truly hearing?" Tears fell down her cheeks, hot as embers, burning her eyes before they wetted the pillow. She moved closer to the mirror, staring into her eyes to make sure they were still okay, and she realized she was speaking to her own reflection. It wept with her, listened to her, and gave her what she had long been denied. That night, her reflection in the mirror was the only one who truly listened. Some pains do not seek explanation. They only seek a sincere ear. A wound is known only to its owner. Often we are forced into silence to suppress the moan of our pain, not out of weakness, but because pain has reasons that are untold, and sometimes because speaking itself becomes a burden. A patient once entered a doctor's office and said, "I am falling apart." The doctor looked at the papers, not at his face, and coldly said, "Your tests are fine. It's just stress." The patient left carrying a diagnosis, but no acknowledgement of his pain. Here begins the tragedy. When a person's pain is doubted, they learn to lock it inside themselves. Not everyone you speak to will understand you, and not everyone who listens truly hears you. Once I heard or read that animal trainers talk to their animals, share their secrets with them, pour out what pains them, and sometimes even prefer them to humans. And here I wondered, what drives a person to avoid another human and choose an animal as a refuge for their confessions? After a while, I understood. When the human heart is absent, the animal becomes a safer refuge. It listens, does not interrupt, does not mock your pain, does not diminish your suffering, and you need not fear crying before it or confessing the deepest parts of yourself. Yet the question remains open. Why do we share our suffering with humans like us? Yes, my friend, I know. Sometimes we do not speak out of complaint, but in search of a solution, and that is right. But the tragedy is when the listener has neither a solution nor a heart. What then becomes of you? We return to the one hidden behind the shield of strength, who cried and no one heard her. One day, one of her friends was crying, and the girls gathered around her asking, "What's wrong?" She said in a broken voice, "My father has cancer." Silence fell. Shock stunned everyone. Some prayed and left. Some hugged her and withdrew. As for her, she approached, cried with her, and tried to comfort her, even though she could offer no solution. She listened, felt the pain, and eased it. Her heart remained connected to her friend, checking on her from time to time, asking about her father, about the house that had become heavier. Here we realize an important truth. We do not always need to have a solution. Sometimes it is enough to have a heart, a merciful, compassionate, tender heart that feels for others and comforts them, even if it is broken itself, for it understands the difference between kindness and cruelty in the face of pain. And in answer to the previous question, complaining, when directed to the right person, is not weakness. We were created for each other, and God placed mercy within us, so we must not extinguish it. The dark side is directing our complaints to the wrong person, turning our confession into humiliation, adding sip after sip of pain through indifference, mockery, belittling the suffering, and lack of care, and more. Dear viewer, know this. Complaining to the one who created you is natural and rightful. He is the one who created you, knows you more than you know yourself, hears your moans before you speak, and never diminishes your pain.